Well, good morning. I'm glad you're here this morning. And so we're just gonna start right down on our hands and knees, and you're gonna get into that cat camel position. I don't know if you did the split squat workout, but I think I'm sore for like 3 days off. Well, today's day 3. Holy moly. So arch that back, tuck the head, let the belly button sink, look up. And I want you to just go back and forth, really trying to open up that back, then letting that belly button sink and looking up. And so just really making sure you arch both, where you really tuck that head, no pain allowed, but then just let your belly button sink and look up with it. And you really just want to kind of cycle back and forth through, letting those hips wake up, letting that back wake up, just kind of connecting all through that head, body, muscle connection. Then we're just gonna start, so come back to about neutral with that back. You're gonna sink your hips back, right down to those heels, and then come back up. We're just gonna rock for a moment. And so when you do this, I want you to feel, does the front of the hips feel tight? Does the back of the hips feel tight? Does the back feel tight? Then take your knees a little wider. Let the body sink in. What does that do for you? Bring it back in, and then bring the knees in narrow and sink. And just pay attention to what the body lets you do, where it feels like you're a little bit more tight, and just kind of stay there with it. Now hang out there, try and wiggle that bum down just a little bit more. Then let the arms come out and try and rest that head right down. And as you do that, I want you just to kind of shift side to side just a little bit and see if you can wiggle down even further. And then try walking your fingertips out away from your body a little bit more. Now I want you to just reach your back arm through underneath that arm and try and lay your head right down. And so you're just getting that kind of posterior shoulder, upper back release while we're still doing the hips and back. And then you're gonna switch to the other side. And so let your back relax. Try and reach right through. Try and rotate a little bit more. Good, and then come back in, and then just see if you can almost push your palms away from you. So you're trying to almost push your hips down towards your heels just a little bit more. Keeping that position, now reach your arms, both of them, over to one side, and you're gonna feel that whole side open up. So if I'm reaching over to my right side, I feel that whole left side stretch right from my hips all the way kind of up through my armpit, through that arm, and then reaching to the other side. Sink and reach and open. And try and just really find to see if you can find a little bit more space. So can you open up a little bit more on that right side, reaching more over to that left side. Taking that deep breath in, and see if you can reach just one more inch further, one more centimeter further. Good, and back to center. Come out of that for a moment. We're not done in this position, so take your knees back if you need a little break off the knees. And just reach them back. Even doing a little bit of a calf stretch feels really good here. So what I'm doing is I'm sinking back and just trying to like dig my heel back, but keeping everything in nice good position, and then switching to the other side. And that always just feels nice and juicy and lovely. One more time each side. Now from here, we're gonna go into that child's pose position, but your hips are gonna stay high, and we're actually gonna come down onto your forearms. So keep the hips really high, so almost keep that little bit of a like butt turn up. Now you're gonna come onto your forearms, fists together, keep the hips high, walk your arms forward, and you're almost trying to get your chest down towards the ground. So you want the chest first, then the head comes down, and you're trying to keep the hips even more high. So you're really trying to get that upper back shoulder stretch here. And so it's part of that dolphin series where dolphin is like you tuck your toes and you stick your hips up. But first thing in the morning, this feels really good just to get into that upper back. And then rest the head if you need to. But sometimes my head gets in the way, so I'm trying to get my chin down more as I'm trying to get my chest right down towards the ground. Good, come on out of that. All right, we're gonna come into a deep side lunge position, and then we're gonna come into kind of that stretch with it. So I'll mirror you, which means I'm gonna be on my right side, so your left side. You're gonna take the other leg out, keep that chest up a lot, and you're almost sinking those hips back some. And when you do this, I really want you to think this inner thigh is my flexibility. That's where I want this to really feel. So the hips go right back, you keep that chest lifted, so still think about shining that heart right through. And I want you to sink those hips right back. You can pull the toes, almost just rotate the foot up, but don't pull the toes like actively back to your nose. Just rotate that foot up. See how you feel. Do you like it better with the toes forward, or do you like it better with the toes up? And I want you to really sink those hips, that hip down and back, feeling that inner thigh. And then if that feels okay, you're gonna come down onto your forearm, but only if that feels okay. Otherwise, stay tented up or on your hands here. Switch to the other side. So bring the leg in, leg comes out, so you're gonna keep the foot flat first. Send the hips back, keep that chest up, keep tenting those fingers. Then you can rotate the foot, but don't have that foot active, so just keep it relaxed. You can just kind of point the toes up towards the ceiling. Sink those hips back, and then again, if that feels okay, come down onto your forearms. But I really want you to think, this is inner thigh, almost back of the leg, and just really trying to get a nice, good pull through here without being painful. And if it's painful, you come back up, keep that chest lifted. Good, let's do that again on each side. So, sink. So hips stay up first, push that leg out, lift that chest. Toes can go up towards the ceiling or straight, and then come down onto those forearms. And just really sink into that inner thigh. It's a big, juicy part of the legs. It can affect the back a lot. It can affect the hips, the knees. So it's really, really important to get into. Bring it in, and then switch to the other side. So let that foot come out, chest up, toe up if you want, or toe down. There's not a better or worse with that one. And think about the hip. It's got all this different tightness all the way around. So you want to make sure that you are stretching it in all different ways. And sometimes the toes up feel better, sometimes the toes forward feel better. And when I say feel better, maybe more of a stretch, maybe more where it's just really feeling that tightness. And every day is going to feel again a little bit differently. All right, let's come into a sitting position for a moment. So when you're sitting, I want you to think both sits bones stay down. So option one, toes and feet are crossed in front of you. And this may just feel good enough because holy moly, those split squats this week were, my legs are still tight from those. Option two though, is to take one leg and either cross it over the shins or right up onto that knee. That is how tight the hip is today. Okay, so both sits bones are still down though. And so that's the important part. If you're sitting with that hip bone up, cross the legs so you still get both sits bones down. Lift the chest a lot. Now really trying to think, we're trying to get that chest up almost like breastbone towards where the ceiling meets the wall. So you're really trying to lift and open up through that whole spine here. When we have that, so my left leg is over, my right foot is on top, flex the foot to protect this knee because I don't want any knee pain here at all. So your right leg is going to come up, or right arm is going to go down, and the left arm is going to come up, and you're going to reach and kind of lift over to the side. And you're trying to almost get that chest up, reach up towards that arm, And all the while still trying to get that left hip bone down. So I'm reaching up and over with my left arm and trying to push that left hip bone down. Now you're gonna bring that arm down and we're gonna go to the other side. And again, just lift and reach and open towards that side. Feeling that whole opening. Brilliant, come on down. And then let's switch to the other side. So again, crossed in front, crossed right up on the shin or right up on your knee. Both sits bones are down, lift the chest a lot. Try and see if you can get that knee down, but you're not pushing it, you're not forcing it. Lift the chest a lot, so really try and be square through those hips. Then, whichever leg is on top, that's the arm that's gonna reach forward first. So my left arm is down, my right arm is up and over. And I'm lifting and opening up towards that right side as well. So I don't wanna collapse through the left. Really almost prop up on that left arm. Try to reach up and over, and you're making kind of this C shape with the body. So you're really trying to lift and trying to rotate and move up towards. Brilliant, come on down and then switch to the other side. And I really want you to just feel the difference one side to the other. See if you like one side more than the other. See if one feels better than the other. Good, and bring that back down. Now this time, leave the legs where they are. You're gonna reach your arms out in front of you. Keep that chest lifted a lot and see what you're feeling in those hips. Can you send the knees forward a little bit more? Lift that chest just a little bit more and see if you can walk forward even more. And then finally let that upper back relax. It's allowed to relax. It's allowed to flex forward. We just want to make sure that we're getting the stretch through the back and the hips first. Bring the hands back up and then take them behind you. Lift that chest a lot and see how that feels. Now you're going to take both hands, interlace them, reach them out as far as you can forward, and then take them up overhead. And just kind of see if you can get your arms right up by your ears. Keep lifting that chest a lot. And now I want you to reach over to one side, lift, and then reach over to the other side, and lift. Switch to the other leg again. So now I want you to pay attention to how it felt when you first crossed that leg over. And now, does it feel a little bit easier? Does it feel a little bit tighter? Both are okay, because everything's a little different every time you do it. So again, sink with those knees down, lift the chest a lot, and see, can you get both sits bones down first? Then you're gonna reach forward and try and walk your arms forward. Try and keep that chest lifted first. Does this feel the same as the other side when the other leg was up? Does it feel like you can go further or not quite as far? Both are okay. It's just an observation. And then can you go a little further? And then finally let that upper back relax down. And so just take a few breaths here. Let your body relax. Try and sink into these hips. Now, pay attention to which hip has the most tightness around. It might be the right, it might be the left. Keep your focus there. Take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, see if you can allow it to just relax the intensity of that tightness. Keep your focus there and see if one more breath does it. Good, let those arms come back up. You're gonna have your hands behind you. Lift the chest a lot. Keep pressing down through those hips. Keep pushing the knees forward. And you're gonna lift that chest a little bit more. Good, bring both hands in. Interlace fingers, reach forward. Then you're gonna bring them up. Again, pay attention. Can you get your arms up as high on both sides? Can you get them up towards your ears? Then can you reach over to one side, lift that chest, and then reach over to the other side and lift that chest. Good. Bring those hands back down. Okay, so now we're gonna play with a runner lunge position, but we're gonna do it in a seated. So option is to keep the leg kind of forward and out with the other knee bent in front of you. Option 1. Option 2 is actually sitting so that leg is kind of in that runner's lunge position. So the leg would be behind you if you were doing that hurdle step, so then it would be swinging back over. So that's an option, but it does not have to go there. So option 1, leg out in front of you, and we're fine here. Option 2, take that hip behind. So now we're getting that rotation through the hip on this back leg. And it's that internal rotation that so many of us are lacking. And that one's a big, big contributor. Hip to back to knee to shoulder, all of it can be a huge issue with this guy. So this is a big one to do. And so you do not want pinchy pain, but a deep ache is okay. Try and lift the chest a little bit more. And if you're really sitting off to that side, it's okay, but I don't want you to go any further. I want you to stay here. If that's okay, you're gonna start walking your hands down. But I don't want it to be painful, I don't want it to be pinchy. I just want you to take a breath and listen to the body. So it might just be that we're hanging out in this lunge position here. So keep the chest up a lot, keep tightening, and then you're thinking about breastbone down towards your shin. So I'm not trying to curl down through my upper back, trying to lift and trying to get that breastbone down towards my shin with this leg behind me. If that's available, keep going for it. But I use my other arm to prop up to make sure I really don't spin out of that side. So really kind of keep that long position going. You do not get points for as far as you can reach. Never, not once. Good. Now pay attention to the other side. So bring that leg in. So now option, bend the other leg up or take it behind you. So again, pay attention. What's going on this side? Is it easier to get down on both sides? Can you get that leg further back? Can you prop your body up, or is this side harder? Again, observation, we're trying to get side to side the same, but we all know we have a dominant side and we need to try and work towards getting them somewhat similar. So keep the chest lifted. Feel that good pull. Can be a deep one. The hip can take a deep pull, but I don't want knee pain, don't want ankle pain, don't want back pain. So really listen to the body. Maybe bring it in a little, see if that offsets it. If not, switch it to the foot in front of the body. Lift chest a lot, and then start walking yourself down. And keep that chest lifted a lot. See if you can get a little bit further, and again, breastbone down towards the shin, not down towards the knee or the thigh. So you're really trying to extend and lengthen through and kind of feel back body on the front leg and through that hip a little bit on the back leg. And working towards, now if you find a little bit more space, you can move that leg back, because it might just be that it's early and the hips need to open up a little bit more. Good. Come on back up. Well done. So now, both legs. I'm gonna go out in front of you. So again, no points for straight legs. Bend the knees a lot to let the chest come right down to the thighs. Give the back of those thighs a nice good hug so you know the chest is squished up against the thighs. When that's there, start working your knees or your feet out forward. So when you're doing this, I really want to make sure that stays connected. And then we're working towards those straight legs. Working towards the straight legs, but really working towards getting that full flexion through that back. And I really want to open that up, because we don't do this enough, and a lot of us keep really stiff down through here, and we never reverse that curve. So really try and get there, and then once you're there, see if you can still keep that chest on the thighs. So this is essentially like a forward fold in standing, but we're doing it in sitting. And if that feels okay, just keep there. If you want to go a little bit straighter, but you can keep the chest against the thighs, that's just fine. Now let's do the opposite. So sit up nice and tall, both hips and bones down, keep the chest up a lot, and keep that L position. And can you get those legs straight against the ground, and can you lift your heels up? If you can't get there and you have to round through the back, that's cheating. So keep that back lifted, keep the tummy tight, Keep the sits bones down. Keep squeezing those thighs if you can, or bend the knees enough that you can stay in that upright position. If you cannot stay there, we're not getting into those legs straight. Hold that position. Same thing. Now let's take both hands out in front, then up overhead. Keep that, reach over to one side, and then reach over to the other side. Bring those hands down, relax right down. Okay, let's swing into on your belly. So you're coming right onto your belly. This one is our cobra pose, but I want you to make sure that we keep it nice and safe for your back, for your belly, for all of it. So tighten the tummy, squeeze the bum, and that protects the back. Toenails are down on the ground and they're staying there. Hands are coming where your shoulders are. Squeeze the bum first. This is all active through the hands, and you're gonna lift that chest up off the ground. Eye gaze down towards the ground. Now, with the hands being active, with the arms being active, this is all I want you to do. Now we're gonna switch it. Keep squeezing the bum, hover the hands up off the ground. So it's all that upper back, kind of strength, lift. Try and keep the chest off the ground and lower back down. Now this time we're gonna push up a little bit further, so again, more active with your arms, squeeze the bum to protect that back. This time you're gonna press up to where you feel comfortable. If that's just here, that's fine. But the belly button stays down, the hip bones stay down, the toenails stay down. The bum is still squeezed. Come on back down. We're gonna try that again. So eye gaze down towards the ground, squeeze the bum, press the arms up a lot. And just a nice good extension through that back. Good, bring it back down. Now, boat pose is the next one. When we do boat pose, the knees are kind of together. So they should be fairly close. You're not getting it when we get the knees way out. So knees in line with hips. One leg at a time first. So bend the right knee, reach back with the right hand and try and find that leg. If you've got it and that feels okay, I want you to push your right foot into your hand. So you're activating through there. Squeeze the bum, and now you're gonna try and lift that leg up off the ground. Hold that position, look forward, so you're feeling this through the shoulder, through the back, through the front thigh. But again, if the knee is coming way out to the side, we're not getting that mobility that we need, so we want it to be in line with that hip. Lower that back down. Switch to the other side. So right leg, right arm stays out. Left leg back, left. Arm up, reach, and lift. So really try and pull through that whole position. Lift that leg a lot. Keep holding, keep squeezing, keep pulling. And then make sure that knee isn't flaring out to the side. Bring it back down, lower arm and leg. Now option one, stay there. We're gonna do it on both sides again. Or option two, you're gonna do both together. So if you're doing both together, both hands come behind, knees are together. Keep squeezing that tummy, squeeze the bum. First, push your feet into your hands. Now you're gonna activate and try and lift that chest up off the ground. But this is just an option. If you've done one leg at a time, go to the other side. So keep lifting, keep opening, keep squeezing, eye gaze down towards the ground, and then lower back down. Reverse that, so come right back onto your knees and right into that child's pose position. Reach those arms right out. Take a nice deep breath here, and just let that back push, like the hips push back to those heels just a little more. And then come on up. We're gonna finish with that hip flexor stretch. So you're gonna take one leg back, one leg forward, sink down, one arm comes up and over and reach. So really just take that time to sink into those hips, lift, and get a little bit more into that hip. So again, back leg, you're side bending away and rotating towards. Bring that hand down, switch to the other side. So really sink in, lengthen through that hip, lift the chest. Now you're gonna take the arm over and then rotate towards. And really see if you can just sink into this hip. Enjoy that position and try and open up that whole side. If we're collapsing through on the other side, I want you to lift a little bit more. Really feel that opening through that whole side body here. Take the arm back down. Take the legs back down. And then sink again. Okay, final pose. We're gonna come onto our back. And we're gonna do a little bit of spinal rotation, but it has to feel safe. So, both knees bent up. If this feels okay, you're going to straighten one leg. So straighten that left leg, bring the right leg over top, and allow it to fall down to the ground. Keep that position, eye gaze still towards that side. So I took right leg, brought it over to the left. Arms out to the side. If that back shoulder can come down, make it come down, otherwise keep it up and we're just working towards it all the way down. If that feels okay, I want you to look over towards the right side. Take a nice big breath in. If that is too much, bend that bottom knee. If that's too much, bring it up towards the chest a little bit more. So your options with this. How does your body feel? Let it relax. Switch to the other side. So bring both knees up. Straighten the right leg. Let the left leg come all the way over. No pain, just a light pull is okay. Then you're gonna bring the arms out to the side. If that feels okay, you're gonna look over that shoulder. Take a deep breath in. Allow your body to sink in and see if you can relax a little bit more. Enjoy this position. Enjoy this finish. Come back to center, bring both knees in, give them a nice big hug. And then roll yourself up. Well done. Have a really good Friday. Enjoy your weekend, enjoy that sunshine. Summer's here for one more day at least, so enjoy it, and I will see you next week. Mwah.